Well, that was quicker than I expected. So for anyone who doesn't know, I made a video about 3 days ago where I was talking about the Twitch content guideline updates. And to put a long story short, TLDR, I basically said, look, I think these changes are really stupid, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up changing them in the next couple days or even the couple weeks, right? I did not think that they would end up changing it in the next 24 hours after it went live. Essentially, what happened was Twitch updated their guidelines and said that you were allowed to have artistic nudity, whatever that meant, in terms of like sculpting or like art and all that sort of stuff. And I imagine what they thought was that people were going to be tasteful with their art. They were like, right, guys, I'm going to be making this beautiful piece of art that's got like a breast poking out to represent something, right? That's obviously what Twitch thought that they were doing, and that people were going to go, oh wow, this is an amazing change, thank you so much Twitch, you're doing an amazing job. What people actually took this was, oh, we're allowed to show art now, I'm going to get my VTuber that has everything showing, shaking my breasts around, looking at making sure everybody sees all those lovely perky nipples, and as expected it went completely haywire. Critical actually did a good little post on this. It's something which is why I'm updating my video now. I have to admit, I may have had a peek at the art section of the Twitch content, and dear fucking god, I wish I'd never did that at all. It completely pierced me. I've got PTSD. The trauma I've received from that is never going to go away. I feel, quite frankly, sick to my stomach. There was a lot of furries. There were a lot of femboys. Listen, but yeah, after 24 hours, Twitch basically looked at their art community and went, Jesus fucking Christ, what have we done? And they basically just rolled back the changes, which is something that I completely expected. And I said in my video, like I said earlier, that I thought this change was going to be reverted, and it has. And lots of people are going after the artists, basically saying, oh, look, you've violated their trust, you violated this, yada, yada, yada. But while, to be fair, they did make the most extreme versions of Twitch's guidelines, you can't really get upset at them because they were just following the rules. And they were like, look, well, now that they've allowed this kind of content up, of course, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to try and get as many horny viewers into my chat as possible. And that's exactly what they've done. And, you know, some of them have benefited from it. What I don't like from this, though, was there were some artists who ended up posting content based on Twitch's new guidelines, but ended up getting banned, right? One of the biggest examples is a artist called Pixin. I'm sure you know who she is. She creates some of the most interesting, not safe for work content out there, and she is quite a big artist because of that. And she decided to test it out, say, oh, well, let's see how well this goes. And she ended up drawing a massive cock and balls with a Twitch t-shirt on. And initially, it was absolutely fine. And she went, oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Twitch. But then she ended up getting banned 24 hours later because they reinstated their old policies. And naturally, people were like, well, how on earth can you ban such a big streamer when she was only following your rules? And within 2 hours, she was unbanned. And this isn't just her. A lot of artists are going through these problems at the minute. And eventually, all of them are going to be reinstated. I don't see why Twitch should end up perma-banning some people if they were simply following their old rules. But, you know, that's regardless. What's my take on all of this? I saw this coming a mile off. I knew this was going to happen. I said it in my previous video. I said I know they're going to end up reverting the changes because I don't think it's going to be beneficial for them. And I even said that I don't see how they're going to end up blocking all of this NSFW work. And like I said, the only protection they had against these sorts of things was, oh, by the way, guys, some of what you might see is not safe for work. Are you sure you want to continue? Like when you open up a porn site and it just says, are you over 18? Anyone's just going to click fucking yes. It doesn't matter, right? So everybody knew this was going to happen. Twitch is inundated with furry art and nudity and VTubers showing off everything that they can. People strip teasing, people pole dancing, people twerking with like just their underwear on, and Twitch go like, oh shit. And they instantly go back on their promises. My take on all this is that is why I stream on Kick. No, but in all seriousness, I'm glad that they've gone back on this. Quite frankly, it was a very stupid idea in the first place. I don't see how it was going to beneficiate them all. I think they only did it because they wanted to appease some of the new content that was coming out from people who were basically skimming on the old policies, such as Morky Pie. And when she got banned, they were obviously like, well, we've just lost a lot of traffic, so we need to find a way to incorporate these kinds of streamers in. And I think that's why they did those policy changes. I think they wanted to change those policy changes purely for those kinds of streamers who do end up doing that kind of content. And while I think Morgie Pie does break a couple of the guidelines, in all honesty, I think looking back now, especially after the 24 hours of hell, the Pandora's box that got absolutely annihilated when they changed those services, that looked absolutely tame now. I wouldn't even care if Morgie Pie came back. In fact, I hope she comes back. Because I don't want to see any of what I saw when I went on Twitch for those 24 hours. That was horrific stuff. I had to see XQC twerking on stream to talk about these new policy changes. If I have to see XQC twerking in front of a camera, then that means Twitch knows that they've fucked up. Do I ever think they're going to do something like this again? I don't know. I think they're going to go... well, this is my prediction. I think they're going to look at these changes and they're going to find out, look, we want to be able to present some things, right? But what can we do to combat this spread of furry dick that was spreading around everywhere? And I think what they're going to do is say, look, we're going to change the policies again, but this is specifically what's going to be good and specifically what's not going to be good. And I think they're going to be having a look at, look, if you're going to show breasts in artistic nudity, I think that'll be absolutely fine as long as there is some meaningful context behind it. But if someone reports your stream and we don't find it to be within that line of context, you can get banned. Or if there's someone, or like I said, I think Morgie Pie is the furthest they're ever going to go in terms of like showing a naked body on stream, right? Like, look, I think in terms of the whole pornographic thing, I do definitely think they will never go back to that personally, but I wouldn't be surprised if they slowly seep in a couple more things. For example, I wouldn't be surprised if, VTubers were allowed to show maybe their breasts, as long as it was like censored, so they wouldn't actually show all the sensitive parts. So if there was a VTuber who decided they wanted to show their breasts off, right, they would have to cover up the nipples, but they could show pretty much everything else, right? That's a change that I would expect them to do. But then again, I'm not a fortune teller as well as I did in my last video. I can't predict the future, so it's only going to be an unpredictable circus from there. But Twitch really, really messed up, and I think they kind of know that from the ground up. And that's another thing, actually. I am actually confused about what's going to happen with advertisements now on Twitch, because, I mean, if you have a look at Amazon, right? Is Amazon going to be okay with Twitch's policy on basically allowing pornographic material? Because I don't think they will be very much. I think they'd be quite upset with the fact that they've allowed a site that they've continually sponsored for a good amount of years now to be allowed, basically not safe for work content, even if it was only for a short amount of time. Are they going to take any action over this? I don't know. Are other advertisements who usually advertise on other people's streams going to do something about it? Will they want to be on a site that has openly promoted not safe for work content, even if it was for a short amount of time? Some companies might not be up for that. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time for Twitch, and I think the next couple months are going to be extremely interesting. Like I said, they've already reverted to policies, but who knows what new policies they'll make in the future and what problems could arise from companies that are associated with Twitch, especially Amazon themselves. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Regardless, I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think that they've made some really bad changes? Do you think this is going to be a source of irreversible damage for Twitch? Or do you think this isn't going to be that bad at all and it's just going to be swept under the rug? I'd love to know what you guys think. Please leave a comment in the down section below. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. I also want to say thank you so much for the amount of views and attention that I got from my previous video about this. It was a new journey into this kind of content, and it was good to see that it was getting some good reception. So I'll continue to make more of these as time goes on if I ever find a subject that I deem interesting to talk about. But, expect regular content updates in terms of like gameplay videos. And if I do and find anything that I want to talk about, I'll of course make another one of these videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye!